I'm going to call the member for Werriwa.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The history of DNA is complex. It's a discovery that can be traced back to the Swiss physician Frederick Meissner in 1869. Come forward almost a century, Francis Crick and James Watson started working together at the Cavendish laboratories within the University of Cambridge. This work led to a famous scene at the Eagle pub on the 28th of February 1953 when Crick interrupted lunchtime activities and announced to all assembled that he and Watson had discovered the secret of life. One can only imagine the reaction from the assembled group. Budgets, Deputy Speaker, are much like DNA. If the DNA tells us the secrets of life, then budgets tell us about the heart and soul of a government. Indeed, budgets reveal almost more than anything else about a government's priorities, hopes and aspirations. They are direction-setting documents and they matter. The DNA of the previous Liberal governments was clear to see. Who could forget the image in 2014 of the then Treasurer and Finance Minister smoking a cigar in the lead-up to that year's horror budget? Or in 2020, the quick disappearance of the infamous $35 back in black mugs when it became obvious that a budget surplus was nothing more than a pipe dream. Or the blatant port-barrelling of hundreds of millions of dollars, sports rorts, regional jobs, investment rorts, road funding rorts, pool rorts. It would take days to detail them all. I'm proud to state that this year's budget is very much built on the Labor Party's DNA. And what is the Labor Party's DNA? Qualities such as fairness, equity and justice. Colloquially, you might say that Labor's DNA stands for a fair go to war, a helping hand for those who need it and no one left behind. It is for those reasons and values I joined the ALP all those years ago, and it's for these very same reasons I'm proud to speak about this year's budget. For in every way, this year's statement by the Treasurer is a truly Labor budget, unmistakably so, proudly so, grounded in helping the lives of Australians who need the help the most and dealing with the global economic headwinds. And they are significant headwinds. The after-effects of the pandemic and the war in the Ukraine are being felt with high inflation and weak global economic growth. But Labor governments don't make excuses, Deputy Speaker. Labor governments have guided Australia through uncertain times, from world wars to global financial crisis. It's in our DNA. The Albanese government recognises the challenges ahead of us, and this budget continues the recalibration of our national priorities that began with the October budget last year. And the budget recognises the pressure Australians are under, and that's why it delivers fair and targeted relief. What can be fairer than helping millions of Australians pay their electricity bills? That's exactly what this budget does. 6 million households and 1 million small businesses get a direct reduction in their power bills. And those opposite would like to pretend that they are all for reducing the pressure on family budgets, claiming to support this measure, yet they voted against that measure last year. Those opposite can't help themselves by continuing to say no, so much so they're beginning to oppose themselves. They can't have it both ways. The Australian people can see the contradiction between the rhetoric and their actions. In one breath, they claim to support cost of living messages in the budget, yet on the other, they have not guaranteed support to the increase in social security payments, and the Australian people will judge them for it. What can be fairer than helping millions of Australians pay for their medicines? Earlier this year, the Albanese government reduced the maximum co-pay Australians paid for PBS medications, and this budget will continue to reduce the cost of medicines. 6 million Australians will be eligible to receive 2 months' supply of the eligible medications at once, saving them up to $180 a year per script. What can be fairer than strengthening Medicare, especially bulk billing? For years, Australians have been telling this parliament that our healthcare system is in need of significant investment. The previous government not only did nothing, but they froze the Medicare rebate, ripping billions of dollars out of the healthcare system. I'm proud that this budget invests a historic $5.7 billion into Medicare, and this will include a tripling of the bulk billing incentive, helping GPs provide bulk bill consultations to up to 1 million Australians. And that means for those in Werriwa, more than 100,000 people will benefit. The importance of this investment to our communities cannot be understated, and it comes as a huge relief to doctors and patients. The Albanese government is also supporting our small businesses because we understand how important to our economy and our local communities they are. And the measure will be in the energy bill relief that may apply to approximately 322,000 small businesses in New South Wales who automatically get up to $650 off their power bill from the 1st of July. Additionally, there will be a temporary increase in the instant asset write-off to $20,000 for up to 1.18 million small businesses in New South Wales. The government is also supporting small and medium businesses to electrify, improve their energy efficiency, reduce emissions, with a 20% tax deduction for eligible investments. That's how a good government can support small businesses, reducing power bills and then reducing our emissions. The budget delivers $1.6 billion for energy-saving upgrades to home, businesses and social housing, helping people with older homes and appliances. The list of measures in this budget goes on. There's help for single parents, help for renters, help for aged care workers by delivering a 15% pay rise, help for veterans, help for supporting quality training and addressing skill needs. Deputy Speaker, this budget ensures that government services will continue to be adequately funded. The previous government left the budget filled with underfunded and unfunded programs and services. It made the budget bottom line look better whilst hurting Australians that rely on critical government services. In this budget, $7.5 billion of spending was needed to ensure that these services are working. Whilst we provide funding for government services, we are continuing to invest in growing our economy for the benefit of all Australians. 300,000 fee-free TAFE places will be made available to help Australians train in critical sectors of our economy, helping to fix the skills shortage and upskill our workforce for secure and well-paying jobs. The global economy is experiencing a rapid energy transition, and Australia is at risk of losing out of these huge opportunities. Australia should not miss out on these opportunities, and the Albanese Labor government is determined to ensure that this doesn't happen. Additional funding in this budget will bring the government's total investment in making Australia a renewable energy superpower to $40 billion. The world is moving, and we shouldn't be following, Deputy Speaker. We should be the ones leading. If this budget is grounded in Labor DNA of fairness and equity, it's also grounded in Labor DNA of sustainability. This budget delivers lower deficits and debts and forecasts a surplus in 22-23. It produces better quality spending and a fairer tax and super system, and it builds a sustainable aged care system. More than anything else, this is a responsible budget. It delivers to see Australians through this difficult and challenging time, as well as setting our country up for lasting success. I'm only too aware of the cost of living pressures my constituents are facing. Times are tough. Inflation has been and is a challenge. Prices everywhere are rising. And while there's no quick fixes and certainly no slogans on coffee mugs that will do the trick, I am equally aware that in these challenging times, thousands in my electorate will directly benefit because of this year's budget. It will help them pay their bills, it will help them keep their heater on in winter and help them keep them healthy, and it will help them and their families manage and plan for the future. Real solutions, real assistance for real Australians doing it tough. A budget that delivers, a budget that keeps faith with Labor's DNA and election commitments of 12 months ago. It seems that every week new discoveries are being made in the world of DNA, incremental discoveries that are helping improve the quality of millions of lives. Discoveries are leading to wonderful innovations. Watson and Crick would be proud and amazed. Similarly, this budget also improves the lives of millions of Australians, not in the way that the DNA discoveries did, but in the way that it allows Australians to live their lives and to the maximum. The elderly, those who are unwell, and those for whom, for whatever reason, find themselves in need of a helping hand. helping, assisting, affording dignity, lending a hand, building for the future, helping the elderly, the sick, single parents, small business people and so on. No one is left behind, and ever may it be the case. This is the Albanese Labor government's way. This is why I'm a proud member of this party. And this is why the people of Australians voted overwhelmingly for a change last year. Deputy Speaker, I'm proud of this budget, but I know there is more to do, and we will continue at working with the Australian people to make sure that they are better for it. I commend the budget and appropriation bills to the House.
I thank the member for Werriwa. The question is that the bill now be